Imagine a world where the digital landscape we traverse doesn't shape our thoughts, but rather empowers us to shape the world. No, seriously, close your eyes and think about a world where social media has the most positive impact possible on society. What does that look like to you? Probably pretty different from the world we live in, right? Today, I want to talk about a profound issue that has been brewing since the inception of social media, the erosion of critical thinking skills in the age of information overload. In 1997, 6 Degrees emerged as the pioneer of social media, named after the concept of 6 degrees of separation. Fast forward 25 years, and social media has seamlessly woven itself into the fabric of our culture. However, as we navigate this digital realm, we find ourselves at a crossroad where the ease of access to information paradoxically impedes our ability to think critically and form individual opinions. Alana Lintau was given the opportunity to speak about this exact topic at a TEDx conference in August of 2023.
We live in a day and age where we consume videos of mass shootings, babies walking for the first time, domestic abuse, cake decorating, the Benadryl overdose challenge, and more, all within a few scrolls.
Social media platforms, driven by AI-powered algorithms, curate our content based on our preferences, creating a myopic lens through which we view the world. The term whataboutism, coined in 1993, has evolved into a phenomenon where social media users juxtapose socio-political conflicts with irrelevant information in order to reinforce a self-centered worldview and view said conflicts through the myopic lens of their own self-gratification. Mental health expert Dr. Cheryl Ziegler worked with 9 News to explain exactly why short-form content is so captivating. As you watch, think about how scrolling through social media makes you feel in comparison to what Dr. Ziegler says it does to your brain.
Dr. Ziegler, let's break it down. What is TikTok brain?
So TikTok brain is something that we know has been going on for years, but finally we have the research to support it. And what that means is that the brains, particularly the developing brain of young children and teens, is starting to get quite used to these short form videos, to the point where what the actual brain science behind it is that we see dopamine, which is your feel-good hormone. It is what is involved in addiction. It's what's involved in the reward circuitry of your brain. We see that it gets spiked up. So when they're looking through and they're scrolling through these real quick videos, that's what's happening. They're getting these dopamine hits that feel good, just the way it does when people sometimes use drugs or they use alcohol or they become addicted to other things. And so that's now kind of the frightening data to support what we've wondered all along, which is, yes, in fact, there is an actual neurological reason why looking at those kinds of videos is just so addicting.
Raise your hand if you've ever caught yourself going down a social media rabbit hole or echo chamber. Social media algorithms show users content similar to what they produce and interact with, making it incredibly easy to fall down one of these rabbit holes. This controversy runs deep, especially for the younger generations. Turn to the person next to you and tell them the social media app you spend the most time on. Just about every social media platform is designed to keep users online for hours on end. Platforms like TikTok spoon-feed content, catering to hedonistic desires and perpetuating a culture of instant gratification. The algorithms promote sensationalism over substance, eroding critical thinking skills and fostering a generation that is more reactive than reflective. The illusion of digital anonymity only worsens the problem, as users unknowingly leave a trail of their thoughts that can impact future opportunities known as a digital footprint. The education system is also not immune to this crisis. The constant usage of AI in schools hampers students' ability to think critically and solve problems independently, as students turn to ChatGPT and similar sites to complete work for them. As such, higher-level courses are forced to go back to the basics and reteach students media literacy and critical thinking skills. The time spent teaching these skills could be better used for the mandated curriculum, perpetuating a cycle of knowledge deficiency. The consequences of this phenomenon extend beyond the individual to the very foundations of democracy. A decline in critical thinking skills pose a threat as citizens become susceptible to manipulation by leaders who exploit misinformation. The whataboutism phenomenon originally started out as a Soviet manipulation tactic, drawing attention away from one's own wrongdoings by bringing up another's, and is dangerously close to returning to its roots. The rise of biased information and the lack of fact-checking create an environment where corruption can flourish, undermining democratic values. By this point, you might be wondering, what can I do to help? Well, I'm so glad you asked. This is a multifaceted challenge that demands a collective effort. Families and communities must foster a culture of digital responsibility through open discussions about the impact of social media. Platforms need to implement features that prioritize content accuracy, transparency, and diverse perspectives. High-quality, informative content should be promoted to counteract the prevalence of mindless material. In conclusion, tackling this issue requires a holistic and collaborative approach. Educational reforms, governmental policies, and community engagement are pivotal in elevating media literacy levels. By integrating these factors, we can cultivate a generation that not only navigates the digital landscape, but actively shapes a more informed, responsible, and resilient society. The future is in our hands, and together we can break free from the shackles of myopic information consumption and build a world where critical thinking reigns supreme. I'd be remiss if I didn't admit that I myself am a very avid social media user. It's part of the reason I wanted to talk about this topic in the first place. The impact that social media has on society is clearly detrimental, but dealing with it is much easier said than done. I want to believe that it's not too late and that this problem can be solved. Or at least, I hope so.